So you keep sending in some really good styling questions. Let's see what you've got for me today. I've heard that one may wear linen on top and wool on the bottom, but not the reverse. Something about a wool jacket looking too heavy for linen trousers. Would love your take on that. Okay, well, I totally disagree. I often wear, and I encourage my customers to wear linen and wool in different combinations. So whether that's a linen jacket and fresco trousers in sort of the spring, summer, or a look I've been wearing a lot recently would be a wool blazer with linen trousers. I like the combination. I like the fact you've got different textures. It's a very elegant spring summer look. I would take away a comment here like a wool jacket looking too heavy. I think we're getting to that mindset again, which is that wool is a heavy winter cloth. It isn't. It isn't necessarily so. It can be, obviously. It can be a tweed. But I wear wool in summer. I wear lightweight seersucker, fresco, mesh weave. It can be very light and summery. So if you're worried about mixing seasons and you perhaps wouldn't wear a Saxony tweed jacket with linen trousers, your beautiful mesh blazer or fresco jacket with linen trousers looks absolutely perfect. So no, that's not a rule or anything. Just completely discard that and mix wool and linen. You button the jacket but you're wearing a waistcoat. What are the rules? Okay, well, no real rules here about buttoning a jacket, whether you're wearing a waistcoat or not, isn't really affected. Personally, when I'm presenting, to look more put together, I button my jacket. If I'm presenting, I'm wearing a waistcoat, I may leave my button undone because I still look a bit more professional and polished. But if I sometimes wear a waistcoat and button up. So no, the rules of buttoning or unbuttoning your jacket are not affected whether you're wearing a waistcoat or not. Is there any good way to prevent or deal with pilling in the trouser crotch area? My linens don't seem to last. Okay, well, pilling in the trousers in the thigh and the crotch area is caused by friction. You often find it on trousers which are perhaps cut too tight. So that could be a fit issue. If your trousers are too close and they're causing them to rub together, that will cause pilling. So maybe the trousers don't fit well. So well-fitting trousers will last longer. And then certain cloths are more susceptible to it. Woolen flannels, for example, are more likely to pill than, say, a hard worsted. So to prevent pilling on suits, for example, so perhaps consider a second pair of trousers on a flannel cloth, so you get to rotate them to get a better life out of them, give them a chance to recover. Linens, though, that's unusual because I think of linen as quite a hard cloth. So if your linens are pilling, perhaps you need to either pick more robust fabrics, heavier linens, or perhaps it's a fitting issue because generally it's not something I find on the linen cloth. I hope that's helpful. When did shirts with those extra wide collar openings become popular? Okay, well, the cutaway collared shirt has been a fashion pretty much as long as we've been wearing the shirt and tie with business suits and lounge suits. In the 1930s, people such as the Prince of Wales wore cutaway collared shirts, but the extra wide one, that used to be those really like super extreme ones, which I wear sometimes. I think they really came in around late 90s, early 2000s, where it was almost like a race to who could do the most extreme cutaway. Brands such as the Ralph Lauren purple label Keaton collar was exceptionally cutaway. A brand called Udeshi did an exceptionally cutaway collar. And when I was at Chester Barry, we did a version, forget the name of it, but it was one I wear occasionally. So yeah, I see it as those really like, I think as Edward Sexton once called it, cutaway just for the sake of it. Yeah, I think I see that as very much as a 21st century look, the really super extreme version. And here's another question relating to those extra cutaway collars. Is the thin part of the tie supposed to be visible? I thought the collar should hide it. Great question, because when we were wearing, and I still do wear, those extreme cutaways, the Ketons, the Udeshis, the Chester Barry extreme cutaways, you either have to wear a Windsor knot or a thick knot. If you wear a 4-in-hand, the thin part of the tie is visible, and I really like that. I like the fact it's slightly visible, it gives it a slightly retro charm look to it, so no, I don't mind that at all. I particularly like the fact it annoys people. And if I ever do it on Instagram or I put it on a YouTube channel and I've got a small knot of a very cutaway collar, it starts to irritate people when they put comments in. So I enjoy it both aesthetically and socially. With a cream dinner jacket, I've never seen anyone outside of high tailoring circles fully pull off the look. Is there a secret to it? I don't think there's any secrets to it. A cream dinner jacket in the right context is always very elegant. In summer, if we're outside, it's at a wedding, it's a less austere occasion, and cream dinner jacket's a lovely thing to wear. I guess what we're going to take away from this, what I'm going to take away from this, is there's confidence to it. If you're not confident about wearing a cream dinner jacket, you can feel self-conscious and a little bit precious about it, it's not going to be a good look, which is true for anything in menswear, whether it's a pocket square, a cravat or two-tone shoes. If you're not confident, you're not comfortable with it, no matter how much it may suit you, you're not going to look good. So no secret except maybe confidence. How would you style a beige brown houndstooth safari jacket, preferably with a tie? Okay, that's a specific question. I guess you've gone out and bought yourself a beautiful beige brown houndstooth safari jacket and you love it, and it's hanging up in the wardrobe, you're not wearing it. I don't know. I guess I'd like to know what material it is. Let's say it's a wool linen, sort of more towards spring, summer. I would pair it with grey fresco trousers, some beautiful suede chucker boots, and then if you want to put a tie with it, and I like a tie with a safari jacket, it's a good look, I would probably put it with not too formal a collar, maybe a tab collar. I think a tab collar would look quite cool, maybe something in a texture, maybe an Oxford, and then a tie, not too formal, maybe a knit tie. I think, yeah, tab collar, knit tie, grey fresco trousers, some suede chucker boots. Yeah, that's a cool, smart, casual look. I hope that works, and I hope you start wearing it. And actually, if your jacket is a flannel or a tweed, just swap out the grey frescoes for some grey flannels and the same outfit works. My personal style leans towards the classic Oxford Professor, tweeds, waistcoats, Oxford shirts. What would you recommend for adapting this to summer while staying true to the aesthetic? Okay, 2 words spring to mind: linen and seersucker. Just swap out the tweed jacket for maybe a linen jacket, and then maybe introduce some seersucker trousers or a seersucker suit. It still goes with that sort of professorial look. Sticks to the same sort of, I guess you're wearing bow ties and cravats, that kind of vibe. So yeah, no, it goes into summer very simply. You can stick to the Oxford shirts, you can still wear waistcoats, but just like I said, no, seersucker, bit of linen. In spring, you can get some lovely sort of lightweight wafted tweeds, and it's a cool look, so I hope that helps. I've noticed the roll on shirt collars varies. Some of my chambray shirts iron flat, while my one-piece collar shirts have a natural roll to them. Am I maintaining them correctly? Well, absolutely, yeah. I mean, if your shirt has a natural roll to it, you don't want to iron it out, so you want to maintain it, because you bought a shirt with a roll to it, why get rid of it? So yeah, it sounds like you're doing the right thing. So my takeaway advice from this would be, if your shirt does have a roll to it, make sure it is ironed sympathetically, and be careful if you send your shirt out to laundries, because laundries can over iron and make them a bit too flat. And if you find the shirt is a little bit too flat and you're ironing it yourself, you can sort of press in a slightly softer roll yourself, particularly if you're going to wear it open necked. It's nice to be a little bit softer. So great question, and these are really important details. If you're buying nice shirts or you're interested in your personal style, these little details make such a difference and are inexpensive. It's just about a little bit of care and attention. So good to be thinking about these things. What's your view on wearing a black belt with brown shoes? Don't do it. If you're wearing brown shoes, avoid black belts. It's not a good look. I don't believe that your shoes and belt have to match perfectly. I think there's a good video on that right here. But black and brown is not a good combination. So yeah, it could be a different shade of brown, it could be a different texture of brown, but no black belts with brown shoes. Is it ever appropriate to wear a double-breasted waistcoat under a single-breasted jacket, and vice versa? Absolutely. Double-breasted waistcoats look fantastic with a single-breasted jacket. It's pretty much what they were made for. A great combination of a single-breasted jacket would be double-breasted waistcoat with a low-busting single-breasted jacket with double-breasted peak lapels. Absolutely classic. It's a look I often wear in these videos. Vice versa, I certainly wouldn't wear a double-breasted waistcoat over a single-breasted jacket. That would look ridiculous. For funerals, is a black suit truly necessary, or is a dark grey charcoal suit an acceptable alternative? I'd say yes. Personally, when I have a funeral to go to, I feel more comfortable wearing what I call an Oxford grey, which is the darkest shade of grey there is in the books, over black. It's very sombre. It's very respectful. It's obviously not in a shiny material, so no, I feel very comfortable and very solemn and appropriate wearing a charcoal Oxford grey suit with black shoes, a white shirt and a black tie over than a black suit? Is it acceptable to pair a grey Dongle sports coat with beige linen trousers, or does that clash? Immediately it feels like an unusual combination. You know, grey and beige don't always go so well together, and Dongle is a tweed and linen is a summer fabric, so you would automatically perhaps think that's not right. But then you think of Dongle isn't necessarily, you can get some beautiful silk Dongles or silk wool Dongles, which are lovely for spring and summer. Lovely textures in them, really lovely, lots of colour in it. And a lot of the grey Dongles, because they're not, otherwise it's not like a stark black and white one, can be quite warm greys. So if I'm imagining a beautiful silk Dongle with a lovely warm grey combined with beige linen trousers, yeah, I'm all over it. So yeah, it could work really well. I've noticed bow ties are absent from most menswear outlets except specialists. Why do you think they've fallen out of favour for day wear? I don't really remember a time in my lifetime where they were really popular. They've always been a specialist kind of thing. I mean, growing up in the 80s, when the men's landscape in the high street was much more formal and menswear was dominated by the suit and shirts and ties, you never saw a lot of bow ties. You'd have to have gone to a specialist West End outfitter or German Street brand to find the bow tie. So yeah, it's just a fringe look, certainly in the UK. So I don't think they've really fallen out of favour. They've just never been that popular. The smoking jackets you feature have self-fabric lapels, but yours have contrasting black quilted. Is there a rule for this? Okay, we did a great video recently on smoking jackets, which you can find here, and we discussed facings and lapels. On a traditional smoking jacket, it would be double-breasted with a quilted lapel, and the smoking jacket can also take a black satin lapel or a grosgrain lapel. But a jacket I also like, which often gets called a smoking jacket, would be the velvet dinner jacket or velvet blazer. And the Prince of Wales often wears a beautiful green one, which has self-faced lapels. It's a bit more versatile, so although the double-breasted with the quilting lapels is a proper smoking jacket, if you're looking for something you can wear instead of black tie, you can wear it more casually as a blazer, self-faced lapels are the way to go. What's your take on socks with loafers? I love loafers, but always overthink sock choices. Okay, don't overthink it, my first choice. And I would always advise, make sure you've got a nice contrast. The loafer looks so much nicer when it's not lost into the socks. If you're wearing black loafers and black socks, for example, you don't really get the shape of the loafer, it loses its style. So I tend to go for contrast. In the summer, I'm wearing a lot more lighter coloured socks. So I'm wearing pale lemons, sky blues, sometimes even pink, with my suede loafers. It's a nicer look and a more of a style look. So yeah, go for lighter coloured socks, make sure they don't match your shoe in colour, and don't overthink it, have some fun. What are your thoughts on a Paisley scarf? I really like the ones you see sometimes in the old-fashioned menswear shops, which are sort of silk on one side and cashmere on the other, with fringed edges. Yeah, they're a real nice old school look to wear with your sort of navy cashmere Chesterfield overcoat. Yeah, I'd probably say I'm more of a fan of Paisley scarves than of Paisley ties. I think a Paisley scarf would be a go-to for classic winter dressing. A Paisley tie, I go in and out of favour. I own a dark grey velvet jacket. What sort of trousers would you pair with it? I was considering Canadian maple tartan trews. Okay, there's quite a lot to take out of this, but I'll give you quite a good answer here. A dark grey velvet jacket is a fantastic thing. I love dark grey velvet jackets. It's not traditional colour you see. The traditional colours are more navy, burgundy, bottle, and dark grey is very sophisticated. You can wear it for black tie, so you could perhaps wear it with your black evening trousers and your traditional shirt and tie. You could also wear it more casually, and I would tend to wear it with, you could try and be a bit tonal and maybe go for a beautiful sort of similar shade in grey flannel, but the difference is the texture, with maybe with a roll neck, that'd be a lovely look. With a bit of pattern, houndstooth, my black and cream houndstooth would be amazing, maybe a beautiful Prince of Wales check or a puppy tooth. No, so I would say, or even a herringbone, I thought it'd be lovely with that. I love the sort of black and cream herringbone. So yeah, a textured trouser with your grey velvet jacket for smart casual, evenings out. It's a great, great look. Now, Canadian maple is a relatively new tartan. I think it's 21st century, and it is the official tartan, I believe, of Canada. And the colours in it, from memory, reflect colours of the maple leaf through the seasons. And I think they're all quite warm colours. I think there's sort of reds in there, maybe oranges, browns, I think. It's a beautiful tartan. In my mind, I can't see it really working with the grey velvet. So I'm going to probably say no without seeing it. I wear mostly Ralph Lauren ties, but they rarely offer linen. Why is linen considered the summer tie fabric over silk or silk wool blends? Well, linen is the definitive summer tie because we wear linen in the summer. It's got texture to it. It looks lighter weight. It has a freshness to it. So yeah, it is a great high summer look. Silk, silk can be anything. I mean, you have different type of weaves of silk. You get lightweight silk. So silk can be summer, but it can also be winter. It can be non-seasonal. Silk wool tends to look more autumnal. So yeah, linen is a great summer tie. It's great for a non-corporate, elegant event. If you're struggling to find linen ties with Ralph Lauren, highly recommend Rampy & Co. Have some fantastic ones on offer. I'm in my early 20s and about to purchase my first suit. Any tips? Best of luck picking your first suit. It's a great moment, something you should enjoy and cherish. You never forget your first. Tips: make sure if you only have one suit in your wardrobe, make sure it's something which is versatile. What's this suit for? Think about what it's for. Is it for interviews? Is it for weddings? Is it a general purpose suit? Is it for work? And make sure it's appropriate, and make sure it's something, if you need it to cover lots of bases and all seasons, make sure it's not too heavy for summer or too light for winter. So wool pretty much is going to be your fabric. Go for a mid-weight wool in a plainish colour. Don't necessarily go for a flat colour. People often get too conservative for their first suit and go for a plain dark charcoal or a plain navy and a plain weave. I often suggest for customers to go for maybe something like a herringbone or a bird's eye or a pick and pick. Make sure, if you're in your early 20s, and I don't know, make sure if it's something you're going to last for a few years, make sure it's not too fitted. I've seen a lot of customers in their late 20s with their suits, which they had in their early 20s, that are far too tight and they can't do anything with them. So bear in mind, in this age of life, you're going to get bigger. So avoid anything too tight and make sure it's tailored. Take it, if you're buying off the peg, take it to an alteration tailor, and those little details of having the cuff just right and the inside leg perfect will make a real difference. So, and obviously don't go bankrupt over it, but make sure you're spending a fair amount on it, and then quality will pay back over the years of where you'll get from it. But I really enjoyed answering those questions. Please keep them coming in. Any comments, put them below and hit that subscribe button.